Okay guys, for this strategy, we are looking at the Euro United States dollar chart, and we are on the 5 minutes time frame. Before I move on, please take note of these important points. First off, this is a smart money concept approach in the market. Also, this strategy is solely for the Euro United States dollar pair, as when we trade on some particular trading session, we found out that this method worked 80% of the time if applied right. And the last point to make before I start with the main video is this: please, if you do not understand how it works, then totally avoid making use of it. Moving on. As I said earlier, we only trade using different session, as we predict future price movement before it happens, based on what actually happened at a particular session. So for the first indicator, bring up the indicator panel. I want you to search for the session indicator. This one right here by Junior FX Addict. This indicator shows the different time zones in the market. As the blue mark on the chart indicates the Asian time session, the green is the London time session, and the red is the New York time session. Now let's adjust the settings for this indicator, as we will be using just the London and New York time session for this strategy. Now go ahead and bring up the settings panel. We can see on the settings, it has no input for data. This is not a buy or sell signal indicator, in case some newbies might think the green on chart is for a long position and the red for a short position. Now I want you to untick the Asian, as we won't be using this on the chart. Increase the London opacity to 30 and also do the same for the New York. Then click on the OK button when you are done. Now please note that why we adjusted the settings we applied was because we want to identify when we are currently on the London and New York session. For this strategy, we want to be able to analyze what would happen in New York session before it occurs, using analysis from London session. And like we said earlier, this often happens on the Euro United States dollar. We found out whatever direction price traded during the London session, we could easily profit from a quick price movement when the New York session tends to kick in, as we would not want to stay in the market for long. What we mean is this: we take position by the beginning of the New York session, as there are price action moments that tends to be profitable even before the London session ends. And I will be showing you how to really make such profits with ease without much stress. The Euro United States dollar being the most traded forex pair, we tend to see a lot of moves that happen this way. So taking advantage using this strategy tends to be really profitable. And I will be showing you a gold mine approach using this strategy. We would definitely go over some examples to make you better understand what we mean. So stick to the end to fully understand this strategy. Now, what we hunt for is to determine what could possibly happen when the New York session kicks in, as we tend to determine what levels of support and resistance happened last on the chart during the London session, before we take position in the market for price breakout at the beginning of the New York session. To quickly identify that, as there are a lot of people who find it difficult to spot these levels, we would be adding the support and resistance indicator. So go ahead and search for the swing high-low support and resistance by Pattern Smart. Let's take a look at the settings of this indicator. On the input, we could see we have it on 5. We would be leaving it this way, as we need to react on short-term highs and lows of the market for quick gains. These red lines act as resistance while the blue gives us levels of support. Please, if you are enjoying our content, leave a like and subscribe to our channel, as it motivates us to give out strategies like this for free. Moving on. Now how we profit from this strategy is by identifying the last support and resistance before the start of the New York session, as we would be placing 2 trades on this levels. Whichever one that gets triggered first, we close the other and ride profits from the current open market. Now note that this strategy is not yet complete, as you need to also add a good exit and trailing stop indicators to better help you manage the trade for maximum profit. So here, we see that before the start of the New York session, we had our last support and resistance at this levels. At this point, we would have placed 2 stop order trades, then wait till one gets triggered before we close the other trade as we ride the profits from the current open trade. So if we placed 2 trades right before the open of this New York session, we would have been in a short position as price broke the support zone. But this trade would have been closed with a small profit though. Let me now show you a more profitable approach to make use of when you spot them, as these are gold mine opportunities with this strategy if you apply them properly. Now notice that here, we won't have had this support by the time the New York session sets in, as it's not up to 5 dotted lines yet, so currently, we have price above the resistance line when the New York session starts. We would therefore be placing a short position on this resistance level and using 2 times the ATR to gauge our stop loss. Never forget to use a stop loss whenever you make this type of trade, because it's a risky one, and yet still very profitable. So if we had our sell at this point, then look at the massive gain we would have achieved, as our trailing indicator would have given us the signal to leave trade at some point around here. And remember, the same applies when price is sitting below the support before start of New York. Moving on. This one right here, we see what we just explained occurred here, only that this time around, we would have been in a long position. Moving on. Now the same applies here as well, and see how profitable they really tend to be. Moving on. Now here, we see we followed the proper rule of entry when price is in between the recent highs and lows. And price gave some winnings here. Okay guys, we hope this was informative. Test out different indicators to help you identify major proper trailing wins from the market using this strategy. Please leave a comment on the comment section if you have perfect indicators for this strategy in terms of trailing profits.